All right. All right. Are we live? We are live. We are live. Awesome. Gonna check some levels here. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. If you hear an echo, don't worry about that. I'll get rid of that soon. Okay. Okay, cool. Piano sounds nice and loud. That's good. Good. All right, I'm feeling good, guys. I feel rejuvenated. I'm feeling much better, and I was really sick on the last live stream. Amazing what a difference a day makes. What a difference a day makes, right? Anyone know that jazz standard? Okay, clearly I got a pep in my step. My name is Brendan Lowe, creator and founder of Jazz Piano School. Put your name in. Let me know who is here. Thanks so much for being here, whoever is here. And if you're watching the replay, thanks so much for watching the replay as well. Hey, Bruce. Hey, James. I'm going to be digging into my new 3-goal system, my proficiency system that's going to be released on Black Friday. The first part's going to be released on Black Friday, and then we will be releasing sequential goals, goal number 2 and goal number 3 after that. I want to get feedback from you guys, and I also don't want you to rush through everything, and that's why I'm going to be separating the releases of all of the goals. If you're a member, you'll get direct access to this new 3-goal proficiency system. If you're not a member, then hey, Black Friday is coming up, and it is going to be your absolute best opportunity to get involved with Jazz Piano School, my new 3-goal proficiency system, and everything else inside of Jazz Piano School, which, by the way, we are making so many upgrades to the website, new features, new layouts, new user interface. The community's going great. And again, we have a lot more upcoming plans to add in a lot of gamification for your practicing, to track your practicing, track your practice log, give you guys some cool tokens, some cool badges, so much good stuff happening. So again, Black Friday would be your best bet to get involved, save some money, and, just get access to everything. So, hey, Herbert. Hey, Noel. Good to see you guys here. Clearly, you can hear I probably have a little bit of congestion still left in me. But let's talk about solo piano. You know what? Let's not talk about solo piano. Let's play. I'm going to play for you guys a little bit right now, and then we'll talk, okay? That often, which is funny. I don't know why. Okay. Awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really don't play that much because I teach a lot. I teach you guys a lot, right? But I really want to start off playing some solo piano first, playing My Foolish Heart, and going into a couple questions. So what did you guys notice? What did you notice about that? What stuck out to you? What stuck out while you were listening? What kind of things did you notice? What kind of things did you like? Go ahead and type them in the chat. I would love to know what perked your interest. Just anything that you're like, ooh, I like that, or I gotta observe that, or I gotta learn how to do that. Any tempo stuff, please let me know in the chat. James, Black Friday will start right at 12:01 a.m. on Black Friday. There will be a link going out on Black Friday, which is exactly when. You can click on the link. You can go to the info page, and then you can look through all of that. There'll be a little video there, and then with a bunch of examples and text as well, kind of listing all the different things that are going to be included in the Black Friday offer. So let me know what you guys thought of that. There must be a big delay. I'm not seeing much chat come through, but please let me know. And then I'm going to get into the solo piano system here. I'm going to start to go over the different levels. So level 1 through 4 is exactly what this stream is going to be on. How do we just do what I just did, right? How do we even do what I did? We have to start somewhere. And I'm going to pull up the chart here so we can actually look at this a little bit. You can't start where I just started, right? You really can't start there because there's too much. There's just way too much going on. And if you try, trust me, the greatest analogy I use is being thrown into a car as a new driver, maybe like a Ferrari or a fast car, being put in a manual on the highway and telling someone, a new driver, to drive on the highway in a manual car for the first time. There's too many things happening, right? So thanks 12Z MTR Music. Appreciate the positive vibes. Added transitional chords, Mike said. Noel says great. Smooth voicings. Yes, all of the above. So my purpose today is to teach you about the different levels to work up to what I did. And there's a proficiency, right? A proficiency goal that you're working towards that will allow you to play standards at a really great level and then add in a bunch of the fancy stuff that I was doing. So right off the bat, right? Melody and bass notes. Simple. Very, very simple. Has to be learned, probably the first step. Now, what creates the sound of the harmony or the voicing? It's going to be the shells. So essentially the shells of the chord. Bruce says he keeps losing sound, no connection. If you guys are all experiencing the same thing, please let me know. I don't see any hiccups on my side. I don't see any dropped frames. So Bruce, it might be on your side, but please check that out. If people in the chat can help Bruce out, let me know if you guys are dropping connection at all. The shells under the melody is going to be level 1 of my system, my proficiency system. So level 1 is going to be just the addition of the shells underneath the melody. So we're going to take the shells. To practice this, we have to practice shells alone though first, right? So here are my shells of my B flat major 7. I have A and D. This is the 7 and the 3. Now your shells are the 3rd and 7 or 7 and 3. You can play them either way of each chord. Now my bass notes in solo piano, right? We're working on solo piano. They don't want to come above this C3. You don't want to play bass notes above C3 on the piano. We're trying to resemble the sound of a bass player, right? So the bass player sounds down here in this low end with this double bass, with their double bass, right? So that's why we want to keep our bass notes down low. So the very first step, right, to really testing out of level 1 proficiency is to be able to play your shells through tunes. Right? I can do this very fast. I can play through my shells through the tune very, very fast, right? If y'all think you can play through your shells of any, and I'm just talking about ballads here for the first part, guys. This is essentially, we're starting with ballads, and then we're going to go to slow swing and then medium fast. If you can play through your shells through an entirety of the tune very smoothly without making mistakes, right? At, let's say, 65 BPM. Okay, you could play through My Foolish Heart. Go ahead and put yes in the chat. Right? If you could play through this tune and just playing your shells at 65 BPM with no mistakes. No melody. I'm not even talking about melody right now, everyone. I'm just talking about your shells, right? So if I'm playing the first 8 bars of this, just shells, it would sound like this. 1, 2, I'll play a little faster. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, sorry, the measure's skipping. I didn't realize that. My bad, guys. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. That's still part of level 1. So if you said yes, you're great. You're golden. If you said no, that's really the first step to testing out of level 1 proficiency is you got to know your shells. You really got to know your shells. And I'm going to tell you why right now. This is how it starts to translate, because the next step in level 1 is to put our melody with our shells. Okay, and this is all level 1 of the solo piano proficiency course that's being released on Black Friday. I'm going to add my melody over top of my shells, and already you're going to get a really fantastic, beautiful cocktail, right? Lounge cocktail ballad sound just out of this. So I'm going to take exactly what I just played with my shells here, and all I'm doing is I'm adding the melody in. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, shells. 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 With the melody, right? I am literally not adding anything else in. Any movements, any rhythms. I'm playing the shells directly on beats 1 and 3 where the chord is shown with the melody. Now, when the melody doesn't align with the chord, like on the first measure, we have melody note with our chord. But we have the chord on beat 3, so I'm playing the shells first, and then I'm going into the melody. Shells, melody, 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 shells and melody, and then shells. You see that? Now, again, I can't even tell you how many students I see not able to get past this particular point. So essentially, this is level 1. This is level 1. Now, I've rushed through all of this because this is a live stream. It's a 1-hour live stream, right? But in the 3-goal proficiency system, I give you lots of practice exercises, ways to do this. We look at examples, so on and so forth. But level 1 is being able to open up to any ballad in your real book, any fake book, and play through the melody with shells below your melody, right? Any tune, any tune. Now, if you think you could do that with a 97 percentile score, go ahead and put yes in the chat. Okay, go ahead and put yes in the chat. If you can open up to any ballad, play through your melody with shells below, making about 1 to 2 mistakes. I'm gonna wait for the answers here. While I grab some tea. And if you think you can do that, go ahead and put yes in the chat. Now, if you can't do that, that's okay. That's okay. That's exactly what the proficiency exercises are for. That means that's the level you're at. You're at level 1. You need to work on that, right? So you know exactly what to practice. Okay, let's go to level 2. Let's go to level 2. So to make this a level 2, now by the way, in level 1, even if the melody here, I'm trying to find some examples. I can't really find any examples here. But let's say the melody is a shell note, you would double your shells underneath the melody. So if the melody was an A natural or a D, let's say over the B flat, I have my bass note in my left hand, I would double the D. And I'll tell you why in a second. It's going to lead directly into level 2. It's going to lead directly into level 2, okay? So for level 2, what we're going to do here is we're going to split our shells. We're going to split our shells between our thumbs in our hand. So instead of playing this, or instead of playing this, right, this bass note works still here too, because it's below the C3 here. I'm going to do this. Or I'm going to do this. right? My two shells here, my bass note here, and my melody. You guys see that? Here's my bass note, shells, and melody. So I have two options, really, to accomplish this step. I can do option number 1, a 10th, okay? Or option number 2, 1 and 7, 3 in melody. So this is level 2. Our shells need to be split between our hands the majority of the time because this is going to free up fingers in our right hand to play thicker voicings, extensions, and extensions and colors, right? So the ability to play beautiful, rich, lush voicings that I played during the first arrangement that I played for you all, like this voicing here, right? I have to split my shells between my hands. Can you guys see the shells in this voicing? Right? Probably not because I have so much stuff going on, but I'm going to remove a lot of the stuff here, right? I'm removing all my extensions, and then boom, I have bass note, shells, and melody split between my two hands. Right? So because I'm splitting the shells, this allows me to add in all these other rich, beautiful colors into my voicing. The only way you're going to get to a pro level solo piano sound, okay, is to split your shells. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, that's going to be the only way to get there. That's the only way. I promise you, there's really no other way to do it. And that's because this is going to allow you to fit in all of these beautiful types of harmonies. Again, check out this voicing here. At the foundation of this, I have melody and shells. Melody, shells, and bass note split between my hands. See that? Shells, bass note, melody, right? And then boom, I'm adding all this beautiful stuff in here. The D minor, right? Look at this beautiful pro voicing, right? So again, at first glance, it's really hard to even understand what this is. You would hear it on an album, you'd be like, oh my God, this is gorgeous, right? How do I do this? Again, boom, I'm gonna take out all the fancy stuff. You're left with melody, shells, split, and bass note. Okay, so again, everything stems from bass note and shells split between your hands and then your melody. Now again, level 2 is a direct progression from your shells under your melody in one hand. We have to be able to do it in our right hand first because of the location of your shells. You just have to practice locating it, and then splitting them is a whole different ballgame, okay? That's why that's going to be level 2 in my system, my solo piano system. This is goal 2, again, being released on Black Friday. Well, part 1's being released on Black Friday. Part 2 is going to be released about I think January 1st-ish, because I do want to give some time for students to go through goal 1, and then goal 3 will be improvisation. But if I split my shells here, this is our goal now, to go through My Foolish Heart, or any ballad for that matter, without the melody, but shells split. So I'm going to do shells, shells, shells. See, they're split between my thumbs now, or sometimes I'll use another finger depending upon what I want to play in the middle. So like I can put my index finger here in case I want to throw the 5 or the 11 in here, right? So if the melody is close here to my shell, let's say the melody is a D, I'll probably use my index finger here to get some of this stuff in. But let's say the melody is high, I'll probably use my thumb to get the melody up here so that I can throw this stuff in the middle, right? But again, at the base of it, it's this. Thumbs have shells. Melody is usually in the pinky. It's again a very uncommon fact that the melody has to be played really, for the most part, in your pinky on voicings, on all voicings in solo piano. If you put your pinky on the melody, you're going to be a much better player all the time. Okay, here we go. I'll stop talking for a sec. Shells, shells, shells. going through the tune, splitting my shells. Oops, did a minor major there. There's a regular minor. So, level 2 of my solo piano proficiency system is being able to go through. Again, flip open to any ballad and be able to split your shells just like that, but with the melody, So level 2 is all about practicing this. We look at the shells, we look at how to do it, we troubleshoot, we look at different areas, different tunes, different examples, lots of practice videos. We work all on this level so that you can accomplish this step, because every level leads to the next level. Every level leads into the next level, so that when you get this down, right, you can apply the next level, which is a more advanced bulk of education and stuff to your playing, which makes you sound better. Right? And the whole goal of the becoming proficient at these things really helps you grow as a pianist, rather than scatterbraining, right? Going on YouTube and looking at really niche things like block chords and different types of licks or modern chords, or, those aren't the things that make you proficient as a pro jazz pianist or a player that really wants to grow and sound good. Do you all see that? Bruce says, I recognize shell with the G voicing immediately. I see them in the C and D voicing also. Great. Yeah, some voicings you recognize immediately and some you don't. And it's always the ones that you don't recognize immediately that, of course, they need to be worked on, right? They have to be worked on. So let me grab some tea here. My voice is filming a lot of videos earlier today. So got to keep it nice and warm and fuzzy in here, right? In my chest. Level 3. Does anyone have any questions? Right now? Please let me know. Please let me know in the chat if you have any questions. If you're able to do this, are you not? I appreciate all the engagement, all the interaction. Level 3. So now we can work through this tune. Check it out. So we have the melody with our shells split. Let me show you that A sus. I'm using an E minor 7 here just so you guys can see that. I know it's kind of like off the page there, but I really can't fit in this whole chart here because it's so long, unfortunately. If I do this here, there we go. Just got to problem solve, right? So now we have the melody with our shells split. Again, this is level 2. So what is level 3? What's level 3 of the proficiency system to become proficient at solo piano ballads, right? I'm talking about solo piano ballads, and then I would be talking about solo piano medium swing, because that's a whole different strategy, and then solo piano medium and fast, that's a different method, right? So level 3 is the addition of the fifth. The addition of the fifth into your chord. Now the fifth, okay? Here's my fifth. The fifth is a filler into the chord. It's not always completely necessary, but for a beginner, it's going to be the easiest note to fill in and pick out the chord, right? So here we have the fifth. I'm adding my fifth to my shells now. And then when I don't have a melody, again, I'm adding my fifth here. I'm adding my fifth here. So here's my fifth. Right, here's my fifth here. Here's my fifth. Here's my fifth here. So already, like, imagine if you could play ballads just like this, right? Check it out. I won't talk, okay? Way of playing ballads is actually like so beautiful and simple and substantial with depth and gorgeousness than I hear most students play who try to add in fancy stuff, right? You really can't try to do all the stuff with the reharms that I was doing, because it just takes away from the beauty of the tune until you can really just do what I did. And that is actually 90% of the issue with I see with a lot of students is the attempt to try to add in too many things that aren't working, because it removes from the beauty. So if you could just do that, I mean, that would be an amazing success. And I mean, that's level 3. Right now, I told you in the live stream I'd be doing levels 1 through 3. I'm actually going to keep going here. So the next goal here for level 3 of the proficiency would be the ability to add in your 5th. Right now, when I was in school, I didn't have to demonstrate this stuff exactly, because this is my own creation. This is my own system, my own philosophy that I've created. Essentially, it's a trademark system. Like, I've created the system of teaching. It's the Jazz Piano School method of teaching, right? But I had to demonstrate other things as well. So I would have to demonstrate a bunch of stuff. But again, level 3, adding the 5th, being able to go through all tunes, add that 5th in. Now, like I said, the 5th is not always needed, but it's a great filler note, right? So on this D minor 7, having this 5th here really fills in the gap. It already starts to thicken up the sauce quite a lot, right? And again, if I put the 5th in down here, like I was mentioning before, this is a beautiful, beautiful voicing. Like, you have all chord tones, and then you have this beautiful melody note, which is the 11 on top, the extension, the color. Now, this voicing, again, is 1, 5, 3, 5, 7 melody. And if we take out the 5ths, if we take out level 3 and go back to level 2, it gets down to this. We're at level 2 now. And if we go to level 1, then our right hand's playing the shells, and our shells aren't split anymore. They're just in one hand. You see how we can go up and down in our levels based on how, if you're a beginner, going up to intermediate, going up to advanced player, right? Any questions? Let me know if you guys are alive out there. I don't see much happening in the chat. Sometimes I get a little scared that the live stream's not working if I don't see chat happening, but no matter. I will continue on. So level 4. Now in level 4, we're going to start to add some fun stuff in. We're going to start to add some extensions or some colors in. Okay, now the colors and extensions we're going to add in at first, can be neutral colors like natural 9s and natural 13s. So we really want to take our time and just go chord by chord to add in some colors. So I might add in the 9. Okay, so if I do, let's do an easy voicing here. Let's do this here. So maybe I'll add the 9 in. So I'll add the 9 right here. That's the 9. So now I've harmonized this melody note with the 9. When I go down to my E flat major, maybe I put the 9 in again. Herbert says, we're here, all is well. Great. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll do the 9 again here. So like just adding one extension in one at a time is a very meticulous and very thoughtful way to go about adding extensions, because you don't have to guess. I'm just going to add in my 9s to every single level 3 voicing I have. Now again, I don't always have to have my 5th. So for example, on the D minor 7, let's say here's level 3, right, with my 5th. I'm going to take out my 5th actually. So my chord could be this, but it makes sense in this area to actually throw down the 5 because it creates this beautiful block third harmony thing, right? So in that case, I really definitely would throw that 5 in there with the 9 here. Okay, again, so back to level 3, I remove an extension. Back to level 2, my shells are split. And back to level 1, my right hand has both shells. Okay, up and down the ladder of proficiency, you can go either way, right? And each level has to be worked on. Now again, here are my shells with the G7. I'll add my 9 here. I'll add my 5. Now, this is a pretty, I love the natural 9, okay? Don't get me wrong. But on your 2 5s, the dominant chords, adding some flat extensions is really the way to go. It's really the way to get a little spicy, get that pro jazz sound. So let's say you've mastered your 9s and those are all good, right? You can totally switch up your 9 to a flat 9. You can totally switch up your 5 to a 13. You don't need the 5, right? So we get into more thick voicings here by alternating the different types of previous steps we've had. We just manipulate a couple notes, okay? Just to let you know. On to the C minor. Let's say I throw in my 9 here. Beautiful. 9 here, shells here, 5 here, melody, bass note, 9. Now this A7 sus is like a reharm, so that can be just a 2-5. Usually I put an E minor 7 there, or I'll do an A7 sus. Here's my A7 sus with the A in the bass, right? But let's do it. Let's stick to the system here. So here's my E minor 7, here's my 5, here's my 9. I'm just throwing in 9s on every single chord, y'all, right? And it turns out gorgeously. So 9, right? 9. Bruce said I might try that flat 13 on the G7 bar 2 since it's like a 2-5-1 minor, see what it sounds like. Yeah, flat 13 on the G7, okay? Perfect. James said we're taking it in. Don't worry about the texting. Great. Flat 13 here. Love that. So again, I know Bruce, he's at a more higher advanced level, so you can switch up your extensions depending upon what you know and what you don't know, right? I would recommend going through more systematically like I'm doing with just a 9 and making sure you know all your 9s. And again, in the proficiency course, the purpose is proficiency. It's not mastery, because mastery of all your extensions is later in JPS. I'm not asking you to demonstrate every single extension in a perfect way, every combination of extension, right? That's going to take a long time. But just the demonstration of being able to go through at a certain level, split up your shells, maybe add your 5, maybe add 1 color, is really at level 4 what that level is about. You hear the difference now with this 1 extra shell? Maybe I'll do the flat 9 here, or flat 13 rather. I love this flat 13. Again, just the addition of this 1 color sounds gorgeous. You already sound like a pro. If I heard a student do this out, right, at a gig, I'd be like, yes, yes, right? 9, 9, 9. Now here, funny enough, the 9 sits right with this half step, okay, of the melody, which is totally cool, right? So I got my shells, my 5, my 9 here with the melody note. And then again, D flat, shells, 9. Beautiful. Okay. Again, shells, 9, melody. And again, here's another great area where I can add in my 5 to thicken up the chord. The 5's like a thickening agent. Any cookers out there? It's like adding flour, thickening agent to create a sauce. Okay, I've been getting into cooking a lot. Reading about this sauce book I have is like 500 pages. So thickening agents are used to thicken up sauces, right? You want to thicken up your voicing a little bit to really make it. So again, if you take a voicing like this with your shells and your 9 here, you have this gap in between your D and your B flat. You want to thicken that up. So throw your 5 in there. It doesn't have to be your 5. You could throw your 11 in there. That also sounds gorgeous. Sometimes too many extensions is too many extensions, right? Too many colors. How many of y'all are with me at this point? Right? So we already get up to a very high level of solo piano fast with ballads just by using the system. Again, it's all about proficiency. It's not about mastery. So if you can go through and deliver this type of sound over a ballad, you know, and what I mean by over a ballad is you can flip to another ballad and do this with ease, right? Right off the bat. That's a very high level, y'all. That is a very amazing level to be at. Right? Then to be able to move on to other areas of jazz piano school, other things, because I was using a lot. Tritone reharms, right? Sus reharms. Sus with flat 9 sharp 11. Natural 13. Diminished passing. Barry Harris, right? Fills, octaves. Drop 2, passing diminished. Altered. Diminished. That stuff's not in proficiency. That's in the other areas of jazz piano school. But guess what? Everything that I'm teaching you right now, or showing you, I should say, I'm not teaching you anything about all those reharms, right? But I'm showing you that those layers are always, always added on to the levels that I just went through in the last 35 minutes. They're always added on top. And if you can't do the lower levels, this stuff is going to be absolutely impossible to do. Right? That's going to be impossible, to do if you can't do the other levels. Let's check out a different tune and let's go through a new ballad with all the levels. And I want you all to pick out what level you're at, right? Pick out what level you're at and what you need to work on at this particular case. Again, I'm only going through ballads in this because I only have an hour. I can't go through slow swing and fast swing. So I'm going to choose, here's a good one, My Funny Valentine. That could be fun. Let's do that. I think that'll be good. I think this will work well for demonstrational purposes. Here's a classic tune, right? So level 1, who knows what level 1 is? Who knows what level 1 is, right? Now, the good thing about the proficiency system is that obviously all of the instructional videos are there. And I bring you through a lot of practice exercises. I actually play with you in these practice exercises to work on each element. And there's a lot of troubleshooting, examples, things like that. And obviously you get access to everything else inside of Jazz Piano School too. Level 1 of the solo piano proficiency system, goal number 2, right? Goal number 2 is solo piano. Goal number 1 is comping. Goal number 3 is improv. Those are the 3 most coveted goals by jazz piano students that I have heard over my 25 plus years of teaching, okay? Goal number 2, level 1 is going to be your shells, right? So shells to a C minor is just C minor. There's no 7th in there. So again, here's my melody and bass note. Here would be my shells essentially, right? I'm sorry, the G natural, that's my fault. The 3 and the 5 are your shells. There's no 7, right? So here would be level 1. Now we do have a major 7 now. So we actually have a jazz chord now. We have a 3 in major 7. So now we have 3, major 7, melody. And then again. So 3 and 7, melody. Again here. Right, down here, A flat major. Now this is getting pretty low, right? That's okay. That's okay. Just play a little quieter. It'll still sound gorgeous, right? Bass note, shells, melody. This is level 1. Bass note, shells, melody. Now remember, everyone, for your minor 7 flat 5 chords, you have to have the flat 5 in there because that produces the sound. That produces the sound to, okay, the minor 7 flat 5. Without that flat 5, you just have a regular minor 7. So you need that flat 5 in there. Those are part of your shells. Now when we get to the G7, you can go back to regular shells. So level 1, first 8 bars of My Funny Valentine, right? At level 1, to test out a level 1, you should be able to go through the whole tune with ease at a moving tempo, 60 BPM, and make about 1 to 2 mistakes playing exactly what I just did. 1, 2. Little roll, right? Texture. Right? All the way through the tune. That will test you out of level 1. At the end of each level, there's a test for y'all. Don't get worried. Don't sweat. That's okay. It's just meant to be an accountability for you all to know whether you're actually at the level to move up, right? To upgrade to your next level. So level 2, splitting our shells. Splitting our shells. This is a little bit more difficult than everyone thinks it is. So here we go. Whoops, I made a mistake. Right? Level 2, splitting our shells between our thumbs. Level 3, adding the 5. Level 3, adding the 5, okay? So our 5 now in this case is still the G, so we're not really adding anything to this triad here. So that's actually going to stay the same. Ooh, I love this chord. Again, we already have the flat 5 on this chord, so we're not going to change that at all because the flat 5 is in here already. But I am adding the 5 to the G7. That's level 3. Level 4. Level 4. Now, level 4 is really an addition of an extension, like I taught you guys before. But it's at your discretion. It's at your discretion. So essentially, you know, down here over this minor triad, this moving line is so beautiful. I really wouldn't add many extensions or colors to this line because it's such a classic tune. It's such a romantic classic tune. I'm not trying to make it all crazy with reharms and stuff like that. It's so beautiful as it is, right? And the melody in this case is already a D natural, right? What would the 11 sound like? Ooh, actually, that sounds pretty cool. I really like that. I don't do that much, honestly, but melody. Oh, that sounds good. Do y'all like the 11 in there? Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that hit me in a weird spot in my soul. All right. I really like that. I'm going to start doing that way more often. So this is the process you go through with your tunes. Now that you're at level 3, you can experiment with these types of extensions in your voicings now. Now remember, I haven't changed anything from my level 3 voicing. I haven't changed anything. I'm just adding the 11 now, right? Now let's check out this minor 7 chord. Again, the only thing I could really add in here would be the 11 here again, but that might be a little bit much. I probably wouldn't add an extension here, right? So there are a lot of areas that I'm just not adding extensions. Also here, on this A flat, this is so low already, I probably wouldn't add much here. I'm like the 5th or maybe the 13. Again, that's kind of getting pretty thick, but you're able to pull it off. Now, definitely on this spread here, check it out. We have our beautiful melody note, the 11. We have our shells. Remember, we don't need the 5 from level 3. We don't have to have the 5, but I teach it to you in level 3 because it's a very, very important note in the chord. So if I did want to change this to like the 11, 13, maybe add the 9 in here. All right, let's check that out again, okay? I know that was advanced. Shells, this is a level 2 voicing. Shells split between my 2 hands, right? I'm going to switch my finger here to my 3rd finger. I'm going to put the 13 here. I'm going to put the 11 here. I'm just doubling the octave. And then my 4th finger, can you all see this in the bottom screen? My 4th finger here is free. It's free to add another extension in, which it's hovering right over the 9. So I'm going to throw the 9 in. Beautiful. Beautiful. And again, my index finger here, the only other thing I might add in is a 5 here to give some low-end resonance to this beautiful pro jazz voicing that I've created by using the level up system, right, in my proficiency course. Now, I can teach you this voicing, which a lot of instructors do on YouTube. Hey, check out this gorgeous voicing like this. Now, you try it in all keys and then play it. You don't really know how to create the voicing. You don't know how to create it over different areas. You don't know how to create it over different chords. You don't know how to manipulate it. You don't know how to change it. And essentially, you're handcuffed into just the show and tell version of learning jazz. Here, I'll show you this. You copy it. I show you this. You copy it. It gives you no freedom. It teaches you no freedom, and you're always handcuffed by the transcriptions you play. So let's do one more tune. Example. Bruce says he loves the 11. Good, Bruce. Glad I'm not alone. My one and only love, my romance. I use that one a lot. Let's see if there's a different one. Ooh, this is a great one. I love this tune. My Ship, Gershwin. Oh, these ballads, man, they get me. They get me. They're so gorgeous. This one particularly, I love Gershwin's writing. It's so gorgeous. So simple. This is a fantastic tune for you all to practice your systems on. Maybe I'll add this to the course, honestly. Again, jazzpianoschool.com/Black Friday 2024 to get on the email list, the info list about the release of these new my 3-goal system proficiency course that's coming out, and our Black Friday deals. If you're a member, you'll have access to all this stuff already, so don't even worry about signing up. If you're not a member, though, or you are a member, actually, you might want to consider upgrading to yearly or lifetime access, actually, during the Black Friday specials. So here we go. I'm going to start at level 1, okay? So I'm going to do shells first in my right hand, right? Okay, shells underneath the melody. Gorgeous. Like, just this alone is gorgeous. Okay, now let's tackle this diminished chord, right? So A, E flat, okay? This pretty much repeats here. Actually goes up to this D. I like these bigger spreads here. Like, here are my G minor shells. I could do this, but these bigger spread shells is really where your hands are going to fit. The higher the melody moves up, the bigger the spread you want. The higher the melody moves up, the bigger the spread you want. The higher the melody moves up, the bigger the spread you want, right? Repetition creates impression, okay? So again, not this, this, not this, this, right? For your shells. Not this, this, not this, this over the D minor 7, right? G7, G minor 7, C7. That was level 1, shells under my right hand, right? Level 2, split shells, split shells. Sorry, I had to get a little fancy. Oops, splits. Splitsies. Splitsies. Now you'll notice my left hand fits perfectly. It fits perfectly into the level 1 notes that I just created. So all the shells that I created, all the choices I created, especially on the second line, right? On the second line, my right hand went to, this was the only one that changed actually. When I went to level 2, my left hand went here. But this, you see this right here? My left hand easily took this, and then it separated here on the G minor 7. Again, on this, my left hand easily took this 7 and separated those shells, split those shells. Again, before, my right hand had this, my left hand easily took that 10th. This, so on. If you can't reach 10ths, y'all, that's no problem. Just do this. Just jump. Like that. Right? Very easy. Don't stretch. Just jump to the 10th. Your 10ths are very beautiful. You need 10ths in solo piano. You have to have your 10ths in solo piano, okay? Level 3, 5ths. Level 3, 5ths. Level 3, 5ths. Oh, this is so pretty. Ooh, this is tricky. That one was tricky. I wanted to play the 5th here, but I couldn't. So again, right? This is probably an area I wouldn't use the 5th because like it's hard to fit in. Some voicings you're not going to be able to fit the 5th in, and that's okay. That's why it's an optional note, right? So I had to put it in up here, which I don't particularly like, but here's the 5th, which becomes the melody. Now this is a fun one. On my diminished now, I get to put the C in here. There's our 5th in the diminished. Again, another weird way to put the 5th in. Okay. Level 4. I can take my 5th out, or I can place an extension in. I can take my fifth out, or I can place my extension in. So I'm going to choose myself at this point whether or not I want to do that. It will be my selection. I'll call it out to you. Excuse me. You guys can choose what you want as well. Let me see here. What am I going to play? What am I going to play? So I added my 9 in here. I'm going to add my flat 9 in here. Here's my flat 9. Ooh, I will add the here. Again, this particular area, because I added the flat 9 in here, I do have this gap right here, right? So I'm like, I'm going to add my 5 in to fill that in. The 5 is always a great filler, right? It adds a really nice texture in. And don't be afraid to double any notes that your fingers are just sitting over top of, so I can double my third here. That's completely okay to fill in a nice 4-note, is that 4? 5-note harmony voicing. So I'm harmonizing the melody right now with 4 extra notes. Melody, 5, 3, flat 9, doubling the melody down here on the 7. Left hand, 1 and 10. Could add the 5 in here. Right? Beautiful voicing. Regular 13 mixed with the natural 9. This is a beautiful combination. I don't really want to do too much over the C7. I probably would make this a sus. That would sound beautiful, but maybe let's throw in the sharp 11. Let's throw in the natural 13 here. Here's my 13. Natural 9. Flat 9. Sharp 11, flat 9. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, that root on top is like, I love that. It's so awesome to have the root on top with all this stuff. That's a great voicing right there. Again, all stems from the levels. When you work the levels, you can't go wrong. You can't fail. Literally, when you work through the proficiency system, here's my shells split with the melody. I added the 5th, right? And then I changed my 5th to the sharp 11, and my index finger is sitting right over top of all this area right here, right? So your index finger, you'll learn that your fingers are sitting over top of extensions naturally, right? So on this particular voicing, check it out. By practicing the 5th, my 5th can always change to my flat, ooh, that note's sticking, to the flat, the sharp 11 or the flat 13. So I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done this. So my third finger has 3 options. It has the sharp 11, 5th, or flat 13, or natural 13 even. It's got 4 options, actually. And my index finger here is sitting over top of the flat 9, natural 9, and sharp 9. Right? So my index finger has 3 9s. Now, this setup, the structure that you've worked and practiced, allows your fingers to be in the optimal position to hit these colors and extensions. That's why the system is literally fail-proof. Like, you can't go wrong if you practice the levels. Like, check it out. Let's do a sharp 9. I love that. Let's mix it with a flat 13. Love that. But I did like the sharp 11 flat 9. My first choice the best. I love that. Okay, so here it is in context. Now let's check this out. I thickened this puppy up here. Okay, we have our shells and melody. Here's our 5. I added the 11 to the 5. My thumb is actually playing 2 notes. And I also added the 9 up here with my third finger, because again, it is sitting right over top. My third finger is literally right over top. And again, if I do want a really thick texture, I'll always add the 5 down here. Now, I love this A7. This leads to just beautiful options here. I love throwing flat 9, flat 13 on this one. Flat 9, flat 13, melody. Again, level 2, split shells, right? I took out the 5, so level 4. We're at level 4 here, adding in our extensions. Again, okay, level 2, melody, extensions, bass note. Level 3, adding the 5. Okay, level 4, adding the 9. And then I'm actually going to switch my thumb from the 5 to the 11 as well. It's a little trick, a hack, to play the 11 and the 5 with with your thumb to play 2 notes to get that beautiful sound, and then again thickening up the sound with my 5 in my left hand. You don't want to use 7 down here, not that a lot of people would even try this. Excuse me guys, my voice is going a little bit. But you don't want to do 1, 7, 10. This is too low for that. Up here, I would totally use that. Down here, you really need a 5 resonance to create this type of voicing here. G7, right? Shells, flat 9, sharp 11, 13, and I'm holding this melody note, this root actually. And then you can just take this voicing in my right hand. Here's my voicing in my right hand. I can just roll this up the octave twice to make it sound beautiful. Very gorgeous fill with the pedal. So roll, roll, roll. In the beginning performance that I gave you, I did so much of that. G minor 7, C7. Okay, here we go. I could choose. Voicing, my new favorite voicing. Sus resolution, tritone, G sus resolution, C sus. And so forth. A lot of these dominant chords, I added in a reharm technique called a relative 2 minor. So on the D7, I added an A minor going to D7. That's a reharm. Again, that's out. When you test out a proficiency, you get all the good stuff, right? But it's only because you can layer it on top. So once you get out of proficiency, you can add in all these fun reharms. Not to say proficiency is not fun, but again, it will set you up for a lot of success down the road if you follow it pretty closely, right? D7 here on the second line, A minor 7 to D7. So I added in a relative 2 minor 7 to get me into the D7. G minor 7, A7. What's the minor chord that comes before A7 in a 2-5-1? It's an E minor. E minor, A7. I did a lot of stuff here. Tritone, G7 sus, tritone, C7 sus, C altered, tritone, tritones, relative 2s, sus reharms all over the place. All right, everyone. So, to sum up what you learned here today, there's different levels, right, at the core of learning the 3 methods of solo piano in my 3-goal proficiency system. Goal number 2 is solo piano, right? There's different levels of proficiency for each of the 3 methods in solo piano. Now, ballad playing is different than slow swing, which is different than medium to fast, okay? And within each one of those methods of solo piano playing, you have different levels to accomplish, okay? In your ballad system, what the course is going to go through and help you with the practice videos and the exercises and the examples, much more than I did here today or I could do in a live stream, is work you through the levels, right? Troubleshoot the levels. Allow you to ask questions to me, right? On everything. And really make sure that all the components are solid so that you're understanding them, you're working them in a lot of different ways, and in an easy, fast way. I don't tackle all the chords. Essentially, I'm not tackling diminished chords. I'm not tackling minor 7 flat 5 because the process is the same. The process is the same. Does anyone have any questions about anything I did? I mean, if you don't have questions, I guess that's a testament to me teaching, right? But does anyone have any questions about anything I did before I let you guys go? Now, the next live stream is next Tuesday at the same time, 11 a.m. and Thursday. So both Tuesday and Thursday again. I'll be practicing. I'll be showing you how to practice your solo piano work. The solo piano work we've gone over today, we'll be practicing that. And then we will be diving into improv on Thursday. And again, all of this is to promote the release of this new 3-goal proficiency system. First part available on Black Friday, the goal number 1. And obviously, with the Black Friday offer, you're going to get significant discount specials and access to everything inside of Jazz Piano School, which is a lot besides this new course that I'm releasing. Okay? Hope you guys all enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I'm just going to be tweaking and saving a couple settings here. But please let me know if you have any questions. And if you want to send me any questions, you're welcome to do that too. I'm always available to answer questions. You can email support@jazzpianoschool.com. I always check those tickets and respond to people. Okay? Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Noel. Always inspiring. You're welcome. My pleasure. And go ahead and try some of this on your own, right? When you get home, go ahead and try, or I guess if you're at home, try some of this today. See what happens. See what comes out when you do this. See what's difficult. See what you thought you could do that you couldn't. See what you could. See what you thought you could do, but you couldn't. See what you couldn't do, but you thought you couldn't do, but you could do, right? Deborah Ann says, is there an upgrade for solo piano? I think you mean the solo piano system, Deborah, specialty course. I'm not sure. Yeah, the upgrade would be to become a monthly member. Monthly members get all access to everything inside of Jazz Piano School, or yearly or lifetime. And then you would have access. But there won't be any way to really, these are going to be kind of a foundational course for members to move through, which will set you all up to move into the other niche specialty areas of Jazz Piano School. And I've found that kind of working through these foundational systems, thanks, Bruce. I am feeling much better. Still sound not so good, but I am feeling much better. When you work through the foundational systems, it really sets you up for success in a much better way for all the other materials and things like that. Okay? I think that's it. I'll see you guys Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific. Hope to see you all there. And have a great, is it Thursday? Yeah, have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Thanks, guys. I'm just going to do a couple things here before I sign off, but